Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, Cabbage Head Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Deku Had Insane Fire Quirk? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Hey Midoriya, what school are you going to? Asked one of his friends. I haven't really decided yet. Right now I have two schools in mind. UA or Shiketsu, said Izuku. But Shiketsu is all the way on the west side of town. You sure you want to go there? Asked his friend. Let him go there. He's too weak to be in you anyway, said Bakugo while leaning back in his chair. No, I'm not weak, I've actually gotten stronger over time, said Midoriya. Oh yeah? How about you prove you've gotten stronger after school? Asked Bakugo with a wicked smile. Some students heard what Bakugo said and turned to Midoriya to see what his answer is. Sure. I was actually looking for something to test my skills on, said Midoriya with a smile. Okay everyone, I know you all are excited about the school year being over. But you must pick your future careers, said the teacher. The class stares at the teacher. The teacher later throws up the papers into the air. But I know you all want to be heroes. All the students started to shout and use their quirks. Now let's be honest. Everyone here is weak as hell. If anything, you all will be working for some low-listed hero or some sidekick. If anybody is going to be the best and go toe-in-toe with All Might is me. I'll be the best next to All Might and all of you will be at the dead bottom, said Bakugo. Oh, Bakugo, you're going to UA, is that right? Asked the teachers. Yep, when I get accepted, I'll easily become the best to ever do it, said Bakugo. Oh, Midoriya, you're going to UA as well? Asked the teacher. Oh yeah, I'm going UA, said Midoriya. Well damn, Bakugo, how you're going to become the best if Midoriya is at UA? Asked a classmate. Shut the hell up, shouted Bakugo. After class, everyone in the classroom was talking about what was going to happen after school. Izuku checks his phone for the location Bakugo had sent him. At a warehouse? I hope it's abandoned, said Izuku as he walks to the spot. Once he got there, he sees some of his classmates and students he's seen at school standing out. Oh, he's here, said the students as they run inside. Izuku walks inside the warehouse and hears shouting and cheering. Come on Midoriya, beat his ass, shouted another student. Bakugo, Bakugo, shouted some students. Izuku puts his bag down and meets Bakugo in the middle of the warehouse. Alright, are you all ready? Asked the student as everyone cheered. Begin. Bakugo attacks first with explosion bullets coming, put his hand and going towards Izuku. Izuku was quick enough to dodge the bullets that were coming his way. He then goes towards Bakugo and punches him in the gut. This causes Bakugo to get sent flying towards a wall. Bakugo then gets up quickly and propels himself with his quirk and sends a large explosion attack towards Deku. Deku didn't dodge this attack, but he was able to get to Bakugo and hit him with a roundhouse kick. Whoa! Midoriya is kicking Bakugo's ass, said one of their classmates. Damn it, shouted Bakugo. He then propels himself again, but this time he grabs Midoriya by the arm and tosses him to the ground. The hell? Izuku questioned himself. Before Izuku could react, Bakugo grabbed him again and tosses him towards a rail in the warehouse. Oh, that's gotta hurt, said a classmate. Bakugo then goes towards Midoriya and tries to attack him with an explosion. The attack was near Midoriya, but he was able to dodge an attack by jumping up in the air. Midoriya prepares for the next attack as he kicks the air. He engulfs fire around him and sends a fire wave toward Bakugo. Just when Izuku was about to attack, a student began to shout out loud. Guys, what the hell is that? Slime came down the ceiling as it began to form into a monster. Everyone run. Oh no you don't. I ain't leaving until I get someone's fresh flesh, shouted the slime monster. The villain began to send slime tentacles around the warehouse. Bakugo sent an attack towards the villain and Izuku added a fire attack with Baku. This causes the slime monster to burst into pieces. Izuku would get a bottle to scoop up the pieces into the bottle. All the students shared the same grossed out reaction, but they were all happy that the villain was defeated. I guess we'll have to find a different time to fight, said Izuku as Bakugo let out an annoyed grunt. Hey! What the hell are kids doing here? All the students ran out the building as the man watching them scatter away like cockroaches. Later, once Bakugo and Midoriya ran away, they stopped by the police station to turn in the villain and began to walk home. Hopefully, we'll have our rematch at UA, said Midoriya with a smile. Whatever. I was going win anyways, said Bakugo. Nah, I was about to counter. They later went their separate ways and trained for the UA exam. A few months later, well, this is it. This is where my journey begins off being the greatest hero of all time. Izuku thought with a smile. While he was walking towards the doors of the school, he sees a girl almost tripping. Luckily, Izuku was fast enough to catch her on time. That would have been bad if you fell face flat on the day of the exam, huh? Izuku said to the girl. Yeah, that would be bad, huh? Thanks for saving me though. Name is Achiko Uraraka. Izuku Midoriya, see you later Uraraka. Izuku had finally made it inside the school as he gets ready to listen for instructions. Welcome everyone to my live show. Can I get a hey? Shouted the man. But sadly, no reply. Man, what a tough crowd we have today. Anyways, let's get straight to the point. For today's test, you all will be sent to different testing locations. In your testing, you'll get the chance to beat some robots up. But it's more to that. Each robot costs a point. The small ones are 1 point, the small medium ones are 2, and the medium ones are the big scary one is 0 points. The more robots you destroy, the more points you'll get. So if I were you, I would speak the big 0 pointers, said the man. Anyways, let's hear a hell yeah if you're excited, shouted the man. But sadly, there was a quiet crowd. Again. Alright, this was Present Mike, good luck y'all, shouted Present Mike as all the students and get up and walk to their testing sites. As soon as Izuku got there he notices a bunch of people there before him. Alright, this is about to be a breeze, Izuku said while smiling confidently. Later the gates in front of them start to open. Everyone was standing there confused. What are you guys doing? There is no countdown in a real battle. Go, 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 shouted the man on the speaker. Izuku then takes off running as everyone runs behind him. As soon as Izuku gets deeper into the city, he encounters his first robot. Izuku then engulfs his arm with fire and sends it toward the robot, destroying the hot into pieces. That's 1 point. I need a 3-point bot, Izuku said to himself as he runs ahead. Later, Izuku had enough points for himself. That's until a large noise was made. Izuku looks up and sees 0 pointers coming toward them. Izuku was about to take off until she hears someone calling for help. Looks like someone needs help, Izuku said to himself as he runs towards the person and tried to pull her out. Ow! Shouted the girl. Damn it. I guess this is the only way, Izuku said to himself. Uraraka? Izuku then slowly walks back away from the girl. Uraraka looks at him in worry. Don't worry. You'll see, Izuku said while smiling. Izuku then jumps up into the air and PPS his fist back and screamed out his attack. Calidus Brachium! Izuku shouted as a large fire explosion was made as it blows up the whole robot into nothingness. Everyone's eyes then widen at what just happened. He just blew a large robot up and turned it into nothingness. Is he even human? Shouted one of the students. Later Izuku did a superhero landing in front of the student. Yeah. I'm human all right. Also, can you guys help me get her to there? Izuku said and asked with a smile. Yeah sure, said the 2 guys Izuku pointed at. Izuku then picked up the girl bride style and began to ask questions. Thanks for saving me, said Uraraka. No problem, said Izuku with a smile. Uraraka and Izuku continued their conversion from there until they arrive at the ER. Thanks to you guys for your help. But I can take it from here, Izuku said. Alright bro. But before we go, I just want to tell you how manly you were there. The name is Ijirio Kirishima, said the red-haired boy. Yeah. Basically what he said. You're cool. Maybe if we are in the same class you can teach me how to control my quirk like yours. By the way, my name is Denki Kaminari, said the yellow-haired boy. Thanks for the comment, Kirishima, and I'll try to remember what you said about the training Kaminari. Anyways, catch you guys later. Izuku said as he walks into there and place Uraraka down. What happened? Asked the lady. She got caught under a pile of rocks during the exam, Izuku said. This school is always taking things too far. You can go, boy, I'll take care of it here, said the nurse lady. Izuku nodded his head and walked out of the office and went straight home. A week later, we now see Izuku inside his room curls. While doing curls, I was thinking about something else. He was thinking about what he has possibly gotten. He felt like he had gotten enough points to pass, but what if he was short a point from passing? Later someone knocks on his door. Come in. The person was revealed to be Inko. Here's your UA letter, Inko said with a clear nervous look on her face. Izuku then gulps as he took the letter with shaky hands. He then opens the letter to see a buff figure on a projector. I'm here. The man shouted. All Might. What are you doing here? Izuku shouted upon seeing his favorite hero. Well, I'm here to give you your results. I also would like to announce that I'm going to be teaching at you. Exciting, right? Anyway, let's get straight to the point here. There is not really much to say besides saying you passed, with flying colors. You were amazing during the writing test and you were also amazing in the practical test. You even got first place in the practical test. All Might said. Izuku then began to tear up. Young Midoriya, he is now your Hero Academy. I'll see you in a few weeks. All Might said as he signed out. Izuku busted down his door and shouted. I made it. As Izuku opens the door, all eyes turn to Izuku. Izuku then scans the room and was met with familiar faces. Wait, that was you. You're the boy that destroyed a robot with one punch, asked a pink-skinned girl. Yep. And we saw it with our own eyes, said Kirishima said as he and Kaminari were at the door. Oh hey, Midoriya, right? You're the only that saved me with that amazing quirk, said Uraraka with a smile. Izuku began to blush and hides his face from embarrassment. It's that girl I saved. She looks really cute in that uniform. If you guys are here to make friends, then leave, said the man on the floor. Everyone then looks back and sees a man on the floor. What the? Izuku shouted. It took you all too long to be quiet. You need to work on that, said the teacher. Well, I mean it is the first day of school and people are nervous. Izuku was rudely interrupted by a scruff. Anyways, I'm Shota Aizawa, your homeroom teacher for the next 3 years. Anyways, put these on and meet me outside, Aizawa said as he pulls out some uniforms. Time skip. We now see all the students outside as they wait for instructions. Wait, aren't we supposed to be at an orientation? Asked Uraraka, who came to class late. Uraraka, wasn't it? Tell me, why should we be at a meeting that only talks about the school expectation when we can do something better with our life? Asked Aizawa. Exactly, anyways. Today we're going to be a quirk assessment test. Izuku Midoriya placed first place in the practical test. How far did you throw a softball in junior high? Aizawa asked. 76 meters? Izuku said. All right, throw this softball with your quirk. And don't hold back, Aizawa said. He catches the ball and winded his arm back and got ready. Izuku launched a large fire attack fired from his arm and propelled the ball into the sky. Later, a large wind pressure reacted to the attack. As the wind died down, Aizawa showed the class how far he threw. 832.7 meters. Is that even possible? Shouted the class. Izuku then walks back to the group and they look at him in shock. Man, it's like he's Endeavor's son or something, said a dude with a tail. Shoot cringed at the comment. Yeah. It only makes you wonder how strong Todoroki is, said the invisible girl. Whoa, Midoriya. How is your quirk so strong? Said Uraraka. Hardcore training helped a lot. Also hot showers work too, said Izuku while looking away and blushing. Does she not know what personal space is? As you can see, there is no joke when it comes to being a hero. With that being said, I decided to make this test fun. Whoever scored themselves last on the test will get expelled, said Aizawa. What? shouted Class 1A. But it's our first day here, shouted Ishido. Well, take this test seriously if you want to stay, Aizawa said, and with that, they begin the test. Time skip. The test was finally over and everyone was standing in front of Aizawa for their test scores. All right, here are your test scores, Aizawa said as everyone looked at the projected screen. I passed. Izuku shouted out loud. Yeah, said Uraraka while jumping up and down. No. I didn't even get to touch Yayarose's melons. Though a purple-haired boy. So since Mineta is in last place, you need to take this as a learning experience and get better, Aizawa said. Wait, you're not going to expel him? Asked Ishido. Nope. I just said that just so you all do your best, Aizawa said with a sheet-eating smile. What? Shouted some of the students. I thought it was really obvious. I guess I should have said something, said Yayarozu. Yeah, maybe you should have, said Kaminari with a sweat drop. Damn it. How did I lose? Bakugu thought to himself. Anyways, class dismissed, said Aizawa as he walked away. Later. Hey! Uraraka. Midoriya. Wait up, shouted Jiro with Kaminari behind her. Hey, Jiro, what's up? You guys going to the train station? We can along it you want us, said Jiro. Uraraka and Izuku looked at each other and then smiled back at the two. The more the merrier, right? It is now the next day of school, and we see Class A sitting in their seats while talking. While everyone was talking, someone came through the door like a normal person. Coming through the door like a normal person, shouted the one and only All Might. Whoa, cool. It's All Might. I guess he wasn't lying when he sent that he was going teach here, Izuku said in his fanboy mode. Hello, heroes in training. Are you ready for today's lesson? All Might asked everyone. For today's training, we're going to be doing hero versus villain combat training, All Might said. Izuku's eyes then widened as he heard that they were doing combat training. Can we kill someone? Asked Bakugu. What the hell, Bakugu? Asked Midoriya. You also get to wear your hero costumes during the training, so get dressed and meet me at Ground B, All Might said as he zooms away. Everyone then gets up and gets a suitcase that has their seat number on it. Time skip. While Izuku was walking out of the locker room, he observed Ground B as it looked like the buildings in the entrance exam. Cool costume, Midoriya, Uraraka said. Izuku looks to see Uraraka in a skin-tight hero suit. Izuku began to blush as her suit. I know my suit is skin-tight. And maybe I should have been more specific about my costume, said Uraraka with a blush. His costume. Just pretend that his hair and hero costume is red. This is the best I could find. Sorry / But it's going to change. You all look amazing. Now, let's begin our training. You all will pull a letter from this box. If you have the same letter as another student, congrats, you are teammates, All Might said as he passed a box around to everyone in the class. I got the letter B. What you got, Uraraka? Asked Izuku. I got an A. I wonder who's the team I'm on, Uraraka said while walking around. Hey, Midoriya and Uraraka, what letter you got? Asked Kirishima asked. B, Izuku said. Achiko said. I got D. But I do know someone that has A, Kirishima said as he points to Ishido. Oh cool. It's the girl with the acid quirk. Thanks, Kaminari, said Uraraka as she walks towards Ishido. As for B, I don't know dash. Did someone say B? 'Cause that's my letter, shouted Kaminari. Oh cool, I got Kaminari on my team, Izuku said. Alright, I got someone strong on my team, I'm going win this, Kaminari said confidently. Alright, you all should have found your teammates. Now, I'm going to randomly pick letters. If you see your letter as the color white, you're the hero, the color black, the villain, All Might said as he pulled out a letter from 2 boxes. One letter was B and it was the color white, the other was C and the color black. Team B and C. Step up, All Might said as Izuku and Denki walked up. They then looked to their right to see their opponent. See? I told you we'll fight at you. Anyways, before we start our match, I just want to wish you both luck, said Ida. Yeah. Good luck, man, Kaminari said as he shook his hand. Yeah. Same for me, Izuku said. All right villains, go inside and prepare for your battle. All Might said as Bakugo and the blue-haired boy walked inside the building. Alright, since Bakugo is coming after me, I'll take care of him. He probably might come up with a sneak attack, so we need to be careful with that. While I take care of him, you go for the other guy. Izuku said as Kaminari nodded. Alright heroes, please enter the building. As Izuku and Denki walk into the building, they started to search the building to see if they could find anything. While they were searching, Izuku heard footsteps coming their way. Kaminari, watch out! Izuku shouted. Before Kaminari could step back, Bakugo came around the corner and sent an explosion coming their way. Luckily Izuku was fast enough to get Kaminari out of the way. Damn it! I missed. Bakugo said to himself. Alright Kaminari, go look for the villain, I'll take off it here, Izuku said. As a red aura surrounds Izuku. Meanwhile, All Might, I think you need to watch this fight carefully, said Ishido. I'm fully aware of this fight, young Ishido, All Might said. Back to the two. Bakugo then sends an attack toward Izuku. Izuku then blends in with the explosion and punches Bakugo back. Izuku then engulfs his arm with flames as he sends an attack toward Bakugo. Sadly, the attack was too fast for Bakugo to counter, as the attack engulfs Bakugo. Well, I guess that seals the deal, Izuku said as he begins to walk away, but before he could walk away, something grabbed his shirt and he gets tossed towards the wall. Did you really think that weak but attack was going to stop me? Fine. I'm going to have to show you what strong really means, Bakugo said as he holds onto a pin on his giant grenades. My quirk is powered by nitroglycerin sweat, which causes my quirk to go off. Luckily, I was smart enough to add a whole lot of sweat to this gauntlet. Now with a pull of this pin, a big butt explosion will come. Bakugo said. Wait, no Bakugo. That's going kill him, All Might said through the earpiece. Shut up. Now say hello to my new friend, Bakugo said as he pulls the pin from his gauntlet as a massive explosion was made. This caused the site to shake and rocks started to fall as half of the building was destroyed. Midoriya, Orca shouted. Midoriya, Midoriya, please tell me you're awake, Kaminari shouted from the earpiece. Sorry Ida. I have to go down there, Kaminari said as he runs towards Izuku. Kaminari, don't come here. Take care of the villain first, Izuku said through the earpiece. Are you sure? Believe me Kaminari, Izuku said as he began to stand up. Izuku then goes towards Bakugo and punches him in the gut. He then sends the angry boy back against the wall. Sorry, but I just had to return the favor, Izuku said. Izuku then moves his hand downwards as the fire starts to manifest from the ground and surround him. Later fireballs start to form and go toward Bakugo. Later the ball hit Bakugo's shoulder and later the ball makes a large explosion on his face. Bakugo then jumps up and goes towards Izuku as he moves his arm back for an attack. Time dash. Before Bakugo could say anything, a fire spiral hits him, causing him to get sent back towards the wall, which in conclusion knocked the boy out. Finally, he can not shut up, Izuku said as he fainted from overheating. Later the buzzer went off as All Might said. The heroes win. All Might shouted as the screen shows Kaminari being able to teach the rocket in there. Man, that was crazy, said Mineta. Uraraka looks at the screen and watches Izuku get carried away by the robot nurses. Phew. Thank goodness he is okay, said Uraraka while sighing. Mine looked at Uraraka and looked at her with a mischievous smile. Ishido? What's up with the smile? Why are creepy me out? Izuku, what happened to you? Asked Inko as she noticed bandages and a cast on his arm. Bakugo decided it was a good idea to make a big explosion, said Izuku. It's always that Bakugo kid. Why are you still friends with this boy? Asked Inko. Don't worry Mom, it's just a friendly competition. Besides, I'll be fine, Izuku said while smiling. The next day. It's now the next day and we see Izuku and Bakugo walking to school. So, what did your mom say about the bandages? Asked Bakugo. She asked me why I'm still friends with you, said Izuku. Understandable, replied Bakugo. But I just told her that it's just a friendly competition. Right now, I'm on a 2-game winning streak, said Izuku. Bakugo growled as Izuku laughs. Also, what's with round face? You like her or something? Izuku stops in his tracks and blush. We're just friends. Yeah right, you think we're stupid? Oh Midoriya, your hero costume is amazing. You to Uraraka. You think we don't hear your conversations? Asked Bakugo with an annoyed look on his face while mocking both Midoriya and Uraraka. Hey, not funny. Time skip. Alright. For today, you guys will pick class representative and class president. Now you all do that while I drink my boba. Aizawa said. Pick me everyone. Ashido said. If you want a sparkling class rep, then you're looking at him. Said a sparkling boy. Pick me. Bakugo shouted. Everyone calm down. Ida shouted. How about we vote for our class rep and class president? Who everyone has the most votes is class representative, second most votes is our class president. Ida said. Everyone agrees as they vote. Later. Wait, what? Izuku shouted as he looks at the board. The votes are in and here is the result. Midoriya. Yaoyorozu, 3. Well, that sums it up. Izuku Midoriya is our class rep and Yaoyorozu is our class president. Ida said. What do I say? I'll do my best to be an amazing and strong class rep to represent Class A. Izuku said as he smiles. And I'll do my best as well, Yaoyorozu said smiling. You know, I like this duo, Kirishima said. Yeah, the class president is really smart, and as for the class republic. Midoriya is a pretty good leader and he brings energy and hype to the classroom, Kaminari mentioned. And smart? Added Zero. Yeah, I guess. Said Jiro. Later the bell rings as everyone walked out. Punch. Are you guys sure you guys want me to be the class rep? Izuku asked. I think it's a fair decision, said Ida. It's not a bad idea to have you as our class republic, Yaoyorozu said. Yeah. You're a really good leader. You encourage others to be great. Uraraka said with a smile. Yeah. I can agree. Todoroki said while eating his soba. Why are you eating your soba cold? Kaminari asked. That's personal, Shoto said. Later a loud alarm goes off as some people start to run out of the cafeteria. What's going on? Kaminari asked. There's an intruder in the building. This hasn't happened in years, so that's why everyone is panicking, said the third year. What? An intruder? We need to run, shouted Kaminari. Later the whole group stands up and walks to the exit of the cafeteria, only for them to be caught in the crowd. Diamine. I can't breathe, Izuku said. Whoa, everyone calm down. Kirishima tried to say, only to be knocked down to the ground. Kirishima, Izuku shouted. Then sees Todoroki trying to move around, but he sadly gets knocked down. Todoroki, Izuku said. But then he gets slammed into the window of the school. Wait, is that the media? All these just because the media got in. I need to let everyone know, Izuku said. He then looks around and sees Momo not too far from him. Yaoyorozu, can you make a megaphone for me? Izuku asked. Momo nodded as her arm begins to glow and a megaphone comes out. Momo then tosses it to Izuku as Izuku lucky catches the megaphone. Diamine. I need to get up there, Izuku said as he looks at the exit sign. Izuku then looks around and sees Uraraka. Uraraka, I need you to use your quirk to get me up there, Izuku shouted. Uraraka then nods her head and reaches her hand out for Izuku to touch. Izuku then reaches his hand towards Uraraka. He was lucky enough to touch her fingers. Izuku later begins to float in the air as he clears his throat and shouts through the megaphone. Everyone listen up. It's just the media breaking in. Right now the heroes are taking care of it, so, calm down, Izuku shouted. After the false intruder situation, everyone goes back to their classrooms safely. Great job, Midoriya, said Uraraka as she puts her arms around Izuku. Bakugo clears his throat. Shut up, Midoriya whispered. I told you he'll be a great class rep, Kirishima said to Jiro. Yeah, whatever, Jiro said. Anyways, where is Yaoyorozu? I need to see if she's okay, Jiro said. Oh, you don't have to worry about that, she's with Midoriya, Kaminari said. Jiro then nodded her head as she sits back down with a disappointed face. Why do I feel mad about that? Later Izuku and Yaoyorozu walked inside the classroom and stand on the podium. Alright everyone listen up. Izuku said as every attention. Aizawa said for us to put on our hero costumes and meet him in front of UA. Izuku said as everyone grabs their stuff and go to the dressing room. Later class 1A gathers around in front of the school. Hey Midoriya? What happened to your hero costume? Uraraka asked. Well, my costume got trashed during the hero-villain training. So I had to improvise, Izuku said as he had on the UA training uniform. And besides, I'm changing my hero costume, Izuku added. Wait really? Why? Asked Kaminari. I just didn't like it. Alright, everyone, get on the bus, Aizawa said as everyone board the bus. Later, Class 1A then walks out of the bus and go inside a large dome. When they walked inside they noticed areas where they had a flood wreck, landslides, burning buildings, etc. Holy woe! What is this place? Asked Izuku. Welcome to USJ. This is where you guys are doing some rescue training, someone said behind them. They look back and see. She's my favorite hero. Uraraka shouted. Thanks. I don't want to hold you guys back on your training, so let's begin shall we? Said hey, is All Might coming? Aizawa asked 13. I don't know. He's probably out there patrolling, 13 said. Aizawa then sighs as he then turns back to the students. That's until. Wait, are there fake villains here too? Kirishima shouted. Aizawa's eyes then widen as he turns back and sees villains coming out of a portal. Everyone don't move. Those are real villains, Aizawa said as he puts his goggles on. Where is All Might? Said the handman. How did they get in here? Sato asked. I don't know. But you guys need to get out of here, said as everyone begins to run. Izuku watches Aizawa fight the villains. He's actually holding up there, Izuku said. Come on Midoriya. There's no time to watch him, Ida said. Izuku then nodded his head and run towards the exit. But before they reach the door, a purple mist blocks their way. This isn't nothing personal kids. I just came here to fulfill our mission dash. Before the man could continue his speech, Bakugo and Kirishima jump toward the villain. But then Izuku makes a firewall in front of them, knowing what they were up to. What the hell were you two thinking? Izuku shouted to them. Later a purple mist surrounded the students and consumed them. Meanwhile, where am I? Izuku asked himself as he began to wake up. Midoriya. You're okay? Yaoyorozu sighs in relief. Oh, you're here. So is Jiro and Kaminari. I think that mist villains send us to different places around the USJ, Momo said. Wait, this is the landslide area, Izuku said to himself. Kaminari looks behind Yaoyorozu and sees villains behind her. Yaoyorozu moves out the way real quick, Kaminari said. Yaoyorozu was confused. But she did as she was told and moved out of the way. Kaminari points his fingers at his talent as electricity projectiles were sent towards the villains. Well, looks like you noticed us, said one of the villains. Either way, we got to defend ourselves, Izuku said. Come on boys. Let's kill some kids, shouted the villain as the group runs towards the four. Izuku then punches the ground as a pillar of fire shoots out of the ground. Luckily, some villains were hit by the pillar and we were sent flying. Alright guys. Let's go. Right now Izuku and crew were fighting the villains that attacked them. Right now Izuku was hitting them with every fire attack he got. Hey guys. How you all do there? Izuku asked. Yeah, we're doing well until more started to come. Kaminari shouted. Alright, let's try this. Yaoyorozu, can you make us a fireproof and lightning cover? Izuku asked Momo. Momo quickly makes on and covers Jiro, Melissa, and herself with it. Wait, what's going on? Jiro asked. Ready Kaminari? Hell yeah, shouted Kaminari. Calidus Brachium Barrage, /1,000,000 volts. Izuku and Kaminari shouted. They both led of their attacks as it burned and shocked most of the villains out there. Beams of fire start to shoot everywhere. Most beams hit the villains and send them flying as some got knocked out by the beams. Jiro and Yaoyorozu come out of the cover and see all the villains knocked out. You guys did a great job. Sure. Indeed, Yaoyorozu added. But where is Kaminari? Asked Jiro. They look around for Kaminari. Next thing they knew, someone punches Izuku towards the boulder as he then holds lighting towards Kaminari's neck. You ladies move, your friend right here is good as dead, said the villain. Alright. I guess you got us, Jiro said as she puts her hands up. Momo looks at Jiro at moment. That's until she sees her ear jack going towards her speaker boots. You know, I'm curious, how long have you been a villain? If you don't mind me asking, Jiro asked. Nice try. But that sheet isn't going work, shouted the villain. Jiro's eyes widen as the villain caught up with her plan. But she didn't care. She quickly plugged her jacks in and let out a large sound wave from her speaker. This causes the villain to drop Kaminari. Izuku jumps up from the boulders and punches the villain with a mean right hook into the boulders. Alright, now speak. What are you guys doing here? Izuku asked. Why the hell would I tell you? Said the villain. Izuku then punches the ground. A ring of fire starts to surround the villain as the heat of the flames starts to heat up. Okay, I'll tell you. The leader of the group, Tamura Shigaraki, is here to kill All Might. Now please let me go, shouted villain. And where is this leader? Asked Izuku. At the plaza. Please let me go, shouted the villain. Wait, that's where Aizawa is at, said Jiro. The group then runs to the plaza and sees Aizawa getting beaten by this monster thing. Izuku ignites his arm with fire and punches to monster back. Get the hell off my teacher, Izuku shouted. Midoriya? Aizawa questioned. Guys here, we have to get Aizawa to somewhere safe, said Izuku as he picks Aizawa up. The group helps Izuku out and walks towards the door. While walking, they hear a loud scream from the distance. What was that? A dinosaur? Asked Kaminari while his brain is still fired. You idiot. Those guys been gone. A monster with its literal brain sticking out jumps in and attacks the three. Izuku puts his arms up quickly to defend his friends. I'm fine. I'll be here and stall the villain until the heroes get here. Just keep going, Izuku said. Come guys. We have to trust him. He's our class rep after all, Kaminari said. Just then, the monster comes behind them and tries to punch them. Izuku then winds his fist back as the Nomu and Izuku met fists. Just get out of here. I just hope I'm able to hold this thing off until All Might arrives. As soon as Yaoyorozu, Jiro and Kaminari pick up Aizawa and take him away, Izuku begins to fight the monster. Izuku then engulfed his hands with fire and charged at the monster. Izuku throws a fist at the monster's tea and fire surrounds him. As the fire dies down, Izuku sees the monster regenerate his arms. What the hell? Izuku shouted as later the monster punches Izuku away from him. What the hell is that thing? Izuku said. Later ice come out of nowhere and wrapped the monster's arm. Izuku then looks back and sees Todoroki, Bakugo, and Kirishima running toward him. Todoroki! Bakugo! Kirishima! Izuku shouted. What the hell is that? Asked Bakugo. I don't know. But it's strong, said Izuku. Are you okay, Midoriya? Todoroki asked. Yeah, I'm alright. It seems that we'll have to hold this thing off until the heroes arrive. Izuku said. You don't gotta tell me twice, said Bakugo as sparks pop out his palms. Later the monster's arm comes off. But seconds later, his arm begins to regenerate. What the hell? Bakugo shouted. The monster jumps toward the group preparing an attack, but luckily, they all jump away. Izuku then lifted his arms up as fire started to spin around his arm. Alright, let's keep this up a notch. Spiral flames. Izuku shouted as a spiral of flames was sent toward it. This pushes the monster back. As the Nomu regains its composure, Izuku sends a large wave of flames toward the monster. Unfortunately, this doesn't affect the monster as it goes toward Izuku and punches him in the cyst. Izuku got sent flying towards the stairs of the USJ and just lie there. Midoriya. Are you okay? Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Izuku interrupted. Izuku then jumps toward the monster, but before he could attack, the monster grabs Izuku's arm and squeezes it. Izuku then began to let out a blood-curdling cry as everyone heard the cry. Midoriya. Bakugu shouted as he ran towards the monster. Die! Shouted Bakugu as he sent a large explosion attack toward the monster. As you can see, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you still won't be able to beat the Nomu. This guy right here is designed to kill All Might. And if you didn't notice, this Nomu has quirks. One of them is super regeneration. The other one is a durability quirk. So as you can see, you stand no chance against Nomu. The only person that stands a little chance against him is All Might and All Might only, shouted a man that has a hand on his face. Todoroki then places Izuku on the ground and walks away. Todoroki? Izuku asked. Todoroki sends an ice attack toward the Nomu. But before the attack can land, the Nomu then breaks through the attack and goes for Shoto. Before the Nomu could hit him, Izuku and the Nomu's fists met each other. Sorry, but I plan to win this and save everyone, Izuku said. Later, several fireballs start to hit the Nomu. Like the other attacks, this attack pushed the Nomu back. Before the Nomu could regain its composure, Izuku beats the Nomu to it and throws fire punches at the Nomu. Izuku punches the ground and fire manifests from the ground as the fire starts to surround him. I'm going to break and disintegrate this thing. I swear I will. Izuku shouted as fireballs hit the Nomu. Later Izuku then grabs the Nomu and tosses him up into the air. Then Izuku throws his fist into the air as a wind hall of flames comes out of his arms and shoots towards the Nomu. Flames disappear as the Nomu lands on the ground. Izuku engulfs himself with flames again. This time I'll go all out, Izuku said to himself as his flames start to slowly turn blue. Calidus Brachium Purgatory. Abyss? Izuku shouted. Izuku then slams the Nomu into the ground and starts to unleash a stream of punches toward the Nomu as the flames engulf the Nomu. Later the Nomu began to let out an ear-bleeding screech as it slowly disintegrated. As the Nomu disintegrated, Izuku then towards the hand villain. You were saying? Izuku asked. The hand man started to scratch his neck aggressively. Demon, you cheated. You're a cheater, shouted the villains as he ran towards Izuku. The villain puts his hands out toward Izuku to kill. Izuku then gets in stance as fire surrounds him. But before Izuku could do anything about it, ice start to go toward the villain. The ice then starts to surround the villain's leg as he stays in his place. What the hell? Shouted the villain. Thanks, Todoroki Izuku said as he was about to faint. But Shoto catches Izuku before he falls. No problem Midoriya, Shoto respond. Later the door gets kicked down to the ground as smoke starts to surround the person. Don't worry, for I'm here and I came with backup, shouted a booming voice. All Might, said the villain. Tamura, we must go, said the mist man. All right, let's go, said Tamura. Not so fast, All Might shouted. All Might then goes towards the villains to capture them. But sadly, it was too late for him to capture them. Dina almost had them, All Might said. All Might then looks towards Shoto and sees Izuku in Shoto's arms. What happened to young Midoriya? Asked All Might. Well, he used all his stamina to beat that monster thing. I heard they called the thing a Nomu. But Midoriya was able to beat him, Shoto said. All Might then begin to smile at Izuku. Amazing job, young Midoriya. I'm proud of you, said All Might as Izuku put up a weak thumbs up. But just in case, I think it's best if you take him to the paramedics just for some medical attention, All Might said as Shoto nods his head and carries Izuku to the ambulance. Later all the heroes then go to the different training areas to check on the students. No one was injured badly. On the students' side besides Izuku, the only people that were really injured were Aizawa, 13, and Izuku. They all were sent to the hospital for care. Time skip. We now see Izuku on his hospital bed while listening to what the doctor has to say. While after some examining your body and condition, you're okay. But not perfectly fine. You do have some burn marks here and there. Not to mention a broken arm on your right hand. That's why there are bandages on your arm, said the doctor. But all that aside, you'll be fine. But what I do advise you to do is not overuse your quirk. Also, don't let emotions get in the way of your quirk. From the damage you caused to your body, I'm guessing that it was emotions taking over. Am I right? Asked the doc. Izuku then nods his head. I figured. Anyways, take it easy and don't do anything stupid, kid? Asked the doc. Yes, sir. I understand. Thank you, Izuku said as he bowed his head. No problem, kid. Now there are people out there itching to see you, said the doc. Izuku's eyes then widen as he sees green hair poking from the corner of the room. Oh no, Izuku! Shouted Inko as she hugs Izuku tightly. Hi mom. I can't breathe. Izuku struggled to say. Hey, Izuku. How are you holding up there? Asked Bakugo. I'm feeling good if I'm being honest. Some broken bones here and there but it's alright, thanks to Recover Girl. Plus I'm pretty sleepy. Anyways, how is Class A doing? Izuku asked. Well, everyone is doing fine. Mostly everyone went home and some planned to visit you, said Bakugo. As soon as Bakugo said that, the door opens and shows Yaoyorozu, Kirishima, Kaminari and Jiro. Well, here they come, Bakugo said. Man, Midoriya. You were so manly out there, Kirishima said to Izuku. Yeah, you looked pretty badass, said Jiro with a smile. How are you doing, Midoriya? Yaoyorozu asked. Well, I'm doing fine actually. How is Aizawa? Asked Izuku. Well, I checked on him earlier. He just got through surgery and is getting his face wrapped up, said Shota. At least he's okay, said Izuku with a smile. My Izuku is a hero, Inko shouted as she hugs Izuku tightly again. Also Round Face told me to tell you she couldn't make it but you can call her anytime, said Bakugo. Izuku lightly blushes thinking about being on the phone with a girl. Anyways, when do we go back to class? Asked Kirishima. Aizawa told me that classes are going to be cancelled. He said he wants us to train for another beginning event, said Bakugo. Another villain attack? Kaminari shouted. Oh, I know what he's talking about. I remember I would always watch this as a kid, Izuku said. Then what is he talking about? Sure. Izuku and Bakugo smiles. The sports festival. Time skip. Class 1A's vacation has finally ended and class is finally back in session. We now see Class A in their classroom. They were talking about how Izuku had saved them from danger. As Izuku and Shoto were walking in, a man with bandages wrapped around his face shows up. Aizawa? Izuku asked. Are you sure it's okay to still teach with those injuries? Azui asked. Yeah, I'm alright. The old lady was doing too much. Anyways, you guys have another challenge ahead, said Aizawa. Everyone then looks around in fear until Izuku shouted. Sports Festival. Izuku shouted. Oh yeah. The Sports Festival is an annual sports event that is a nationally televised competition where first-year students can showcase their abilities to get scouted by pro heroes, said Yaoyorozu. Like Yaoyorozu said, this event gives you a chance to prove yourself in front of pro heroes. Look at this as an opportunity to show Japan what you're made out of, said Aizawa. Anyways, class dismissed, Aizawa said as he walks out of the classroom. Man, I can't wait to kick some butt, shouted Kirishima. Me too, Izuku shouted. I don't know about you, but hearing more about this is getting me excited, Ishido said to Uraraka. Yeah, me too, Uraraka responded. The nerds, Bakugo said as he walks towards the door. Once he opens the door, a crowd of people was standing in front of the classroom. What the hell? Izuku said. What are you extras doing here? Said Bakugo. Who the hell are you calling extra? Shouted a silver-haired boy. Well, we're here to scout the classroom everyone is talking about. And from what we're seeing here, you guys don't look like much, said Shinso. Who does he think he is? Mina shouted. Yeah. Get out our way. Mineta shouted. Calm down, guys. Izuku said. If you guys think this is going to be a friendly match, then you're wrong. We're here to declare war against you guys, said Shinso. But since you want war, we'll give you war. But don't go crying to your FNG mommy when we hurt you or we send you to the hospital. And you seem very confident with yourself, Bakugo said as he stares into the purple-haired boy's eyes. Come on, guys. Let's get ready for the sports festival, said Izuku. Later, Class 1A walks out of the classroom. Time skip. We now see Class 1A inside a locker room getting ready for the sports festival. Man, I really wanted to wear our hero costumes, But there's nothing wrong with this one though. Mina said. Agree. Tsu agreed. Hey Midoriya, shouted Bakugo. If you think that you can beat me, think again. During this festival, I'm going to be the one that's going to win it all. Bakugo said. Bakugo? What the hell dash? Kirishima. It's okay. At this event, we're here to win, not to make friends. Izuku said. Later present Mike comes on the intercom and begins to speak. Alright y'all. Are you ready for the sports festival? You may now come out of your changing rooms, said Present Mike. We now see the students walk out of a tunnel as a crowd of people starts to cheer. Man, there's a lot of people here, said Momo. With all these people here, it gets nerve-wracking, said Mina. The more people the better, said Bakugo with a devilish grin. Later everyone crowded around as they look up and see dark purpled-haired women walk up a podium. Now please welcome the 18-plus hero Midnight, shouted Present Mike. Wait, did they just say 18-plus hero, even though this is a high school? Asked Ojiro. No. Izuku Midoriya, please come up and give a speech before we start, said Midnight. Wait, why me? Asked Izuku. Well, I'm guessing because you got first place in the entrance exam, said Uraraka. I guess that makes sense, Izuku said as he walked up the podium. I don't really know what to say, so I'm going to make this quick. I hope everyone tries their best and go plus ultra. Thank you, said Izuku as people clapped their hands. Wow, that work, Izuku thought to himself as he walks down the podium. He makes eye contact with Uraraka and sees her give him a thumbs up. Bakugo looks at Uraraka and then looks at Midoriya. Thank you Midoriya. Now let's start the sports festival with an obstacle course, Midnight shouted. The rules are pretty simple. Get past the obstacle course without being lifted behind, said Midnight as all the classes walk toward the starting line. Are you students ready? Asked Present Mike. Now begin, Mike shouted as everyone stormed towards the course. Damn it. I can't get out, Izuku thought to himself. Later an ice trail was made as Shoto slides through it and gets out of the crowd. Oh. Todoroki with a nasty play right there, Mike shouted. Later Bakugo, Momo, and Kirishima got out of the trap. Later Izuku makes his way past the trap as some students get out of it as well. Later a laser comes towards the students' way. Luckily most of them dodge it. As they look up, they see a bunch of robots appear in front of them. Later ice starts to surround Shoto as he sends an ice attack toward the bots. Oh. An amazing attack by Shoto Todoroki, shouted Mike. Oh. He froze them. We can go now, said one girl. I won't if I were you, said Shoto as later the robots began to fall. Later Izuku surrounds himself in fire and sends a large fire attack toward the bots. The fire then goes toward the bots and melts the ice and burns the vote into nothingness. Izuku Midoriya with a killer attack to save everyone from Todoroki's death trap, shouted Mike. Shoto then looks back and sees the bots burn in the fire. That Diamond Midoriya? Todoroki said as he runs into the next course. A tightrope walk. Shoto then freezes the ropes and slides on them. Meanwhile, Izuku and Bakugo were right now neck and neck for second place. Move you effing dragon, shouted Bakugo. Shut up you ticking bomb, Izuku shouted back. Later Bakugo then sends an explosion toward Izuku to push him back. This causes Bakugo to be put in second place. Later everyone comes in and meets the tightrope course. Bakugo propels himself through the tightrope course as everyone else had other ways. Izuku finally catches up and crawls on the rope to get his way there. Momo created a grappling hook and shot it across the obstacle. Uraraka floats in the air with her quirk and Mina slides through the course. Right now the top four in the lead are Shoto Todoroki, Bakugo and Ida. Ida was gliding through the tight ropes with his engine quirk. Right about now Shoto and Bakugo were now battling for first place. Bakugo later sends an explosion on the ground as a large explosion was made as it knocks almost everyone down. Bakugo is now in the lead. But will he get first place in the obstacle? Shoto made a comeback and slides towards Bakugo. Bakugo got said as he later sent an explosion at Shoto, only for Shoto to block it with ice. Dim and ice hot. Before they could continue, a large explosion was made. Later, everyone looks up to see someone in the air flying. Oh. Izuku Midoriya is coming in with the clutch attack, shouted present Mike. Midoriya? Wasn't he just at the tight ropes? Asked Jiro. Later, Izuku lands in front of the two and puts his hands out. Don't you do it, Midoriya? Shoto shouted. Izuku's arms ignite as he punches the ground. Explosions were made to propel Izuku forward and push Bakugo and Shoto back. Later, Izuku gets out of the landmine and begins running to the finish. Izuku Midoriya with an amazing comeback, and now he's in the lead. But not for long. Present Mike said. Izuku looks back and sees Shoto and Bakugo coming toward him. Oh no! Midoriya, /you effing dragon! Shouted both Shoto and Bakugo. Unfortunately for Izuku, they were gaining speed and coming for him. Right now the three are neck and neck as they run toward the tunnel. Who is going to be the winning? Mike shouted. Later everyone looks to the tuner and sees. And the winner is Izuku Midoriya. Right after Izuku wins the race, everyone else comes after him. Uraraka goes up to Izuku and rests her head on his shoulders. Great job, Midoriya. You did it. That was amazing. Uraraka said in a sleepy tone. Thanks. Are you okay? Asked Izuku with a blush. Yeah. I'm just tired. Alright, everyone. Gather around. Midnight said. Midnight then points a board. It showed the top 43 people making it past the obstacle. Alright, now let's move on to the next event. Which is the cavalry battle. I'm skipping the cavalry battle. Time skip. The cavalry battle is finally over and the results are in. Hey Midoriya. Great job on the cavalry battle, said Shoto. Thanks, Todoroki. You did well too, said Izuku. Thanks. But the battle is not over yet, said Todoroki. Alright, now we are on our final round. The round we have all been waiting for. The battle tournament. Midnight shouted as the crowd went wild. As the crowd went stupid, the brackets for the battle tournament popped up. I decided to change it up. I felt like this one would be a lot cooler than the one in canon. Midoriya. I'll make sure I'll give you hell, shouted Momona. Kendo then went towards Momona and knocked him out. Sorry, Midoriya, said Kendo as she walks away. I guess I'm going against Bakugo, said Shoto. Izuku then looks up at the bracket. No, you're not. You're going against that green-haired girl. Hello. You must be Shoto Todoroki. I'm Iber Shiozaki. Hopefully we have a fair battle, said Shiozaki. Yeah. Me too, said Shoto. She's nice, said Izuku. Before we start the tournament, we will have a quick break. We'll be right in. 20 minutes? Midnight asked with no idea. She then looks up to present Mike for confirmation. Alright. Lunchtime, shouted Kirishima. Hey, Todoroki. Can you do me a favor? Kaminari asked. Hey, Bakugo. I need to tell you something, said Ojiro. What do you want, Tails? Asked Bakugo. Time skip. After the lunch break, they went straight to the battle tournament. The first battle of the day is Shoto versus Shiozaki. Alright, the rules are simple. You must get your opponent past the line to win. No killing each other also. Now ain't you two ready? Asked Midnight. They both nod their heads as Midnight cracks her WHP and the battle begins. Begin! Shouted Midnight. Later Shiozaki then sends her vines toward Shoto to wrap him up. Later Shoto thought ahead and sent an ice attack toward the attack. But Shiozaki thinks quickly and makes a large vine shield to stop the ice. Whoa! She was able to block Todoroki's attack. Awase shouted. See? I told you all. He's overrated. He can't escape from this. You see that? That's the underrated power of Class B. Shouted Minoma. Shut up. Shouted Kendo as she knocks out Minoma. The hell is up with that class? Asked Kaminari. Shoto had no other choice. He had to let out his fire quirk. So that's what he did. Fire from his right side started to roar all over the place. He then sends a fire attack toward the vine shield as it slowly burned away. Once it burned away, Shoto sends a light ice attack toward Ibra and trapped her in it. Great fight, Shiozaki! Shouted Kendo as Class B begin to clap their hands. Shoto Todoroki wins and is moving on to the next round. Shouted Midnight as the crowd began to roar. Meanwhile, Endeavor was in a room laughing his butt off. Great show, Shoto. Endeavor laughed. Meanwhile, well, I think we all know that this battle isn't going to end well. She then points to the battlefield as it shows Bakugo versus Shinso. Are you two ready? Bakugo and Shinso walk up to the arena and wait until Midnight for further instructions. Are you two ready? Asked Midnight. They both nod their head as Midnight cracks her W. Oh no, said Kirishima. I can't watch. Momo said as she turns away. Shinso then began to talk his mess to Bakugo. Sadly, this didn't faze Bakugo as he propelled himself toward Shinso. I bet you guys can guess what happens next. Midnight calls it the game as Bakugo moves on to the next round. I'm skipping the other fights. After the Bakugo fight, more fights occurred. Here's a quick recap of the fight. Ida and Tokoyami went up. Tokoyami gave it his all but Ida outbattled him with his speed. The next battle was Tsu versus Hananuki. You know, the titan-looking dude. Anyways, Tsu got her but handed to her as Hananuki softens and hardens the ground, repeatedly. The cheapest way to win, but who cares? The next fight is Ojiro versus Kirishima. Now, this was a 50-50 match. But once Ojiro got tired and realized the sheet isn't for him, so Kirishima gave him a real good butt beating. The next fight was Uraraka versus Shota. The fight was pretty quick as Uraraka sent him flying out of bounds. Next was Momo versus Kendo. This battle was rather interesting. This was a battle of the best big sister. Momo is the big sister of Class A and Kendo is the big sister of Class B. This was an all-out battle with fists and weapons. But Momo came out on top thanks to IQ. Now the last battle for the first round is Izuku versus Minoma. Here's another battle that isn't going to end well. But he could have copied one of his classmates' quirks. So that might be a problem, said Kaminari. Midnight cracks her WHP as Izuku stares off at Minoma. Before Momona could do anything, Izuku sends a fire attack toward Momona. Midoriya? Is this guy nuts? He's completely defenseless, shouted Kaminari. Minoma then touches a bit of fire as the fire comes out of his hand. The hell? Everyone shouted. Did he copy my quirk? Izuku asked himself. Yeah. I did copy your quirk. Now that I have your quirk, I can finally beat you. And show everyone the power of a underdog. Minoma said as he sends a large fire attack towards Izuku. But two can play that game. Izuku shouted as he sends a new spiral fire attack toward Minoma. This time multiple fire spirals go toward Minoma as the attack takes the fire down. Whoa! He took the fire out with fire. Izuku then sends another attack toward Minoma. Later Minoma sends the same fire attack at Izuku, but it wasn't enough to take Izuku out. Minoma gets pushed out of the arena by the powerful attack. Minoma is out of the arena. Izuku Midoriya moves on to the second round. Shouted Midnight. Everyone shouts as the students that achieve prepare for the next round. Alright, on to the next round. Here are the matchups for the next round. Shouted Present Mike as a bracket of the matchups pop up. Whoa! The first match has to be the best on, said Mineta. They look up and see Bakugo versus Shoto. Good luck, Todoroki. Also don't forget, you just use it to win this battle, said Izuku. Shoto nods his head and turns away. While Shoto was walking, Bakugo grabbed him by the shoulder. I don't want you to go easy on me. Give me all you got. Just so I can show everyone in Japan that you are nothing but overrated bums. I'll show them that I can beat you even with you using both of your powers, said Bakugo. The battle starts as Shoto sends a large ice attack toward Bakugo. Bakugo counters with an explosion to blow the ice away. But sadly the ice was too much for Bakugo to counter as he got trapped in the ice attack. Whoa! He ended that in a second, shouted Zero. I know he was strong and amazing. Later loud noises were made as an explosion was made. As soon as the explosion came out, Bakugo took this opportunity to attack Shoto. He grabs Shoto by his hair and lifts him up in the air. Don't you dare underestimate me. shouted Bakugo as he throws Shoto to the other side of the arena. Shoto was fast enough to recover and starts to glide through an ice wall. Bakugo then appears in front of him and puts his hand out. Come on Shoto. Use your fire side, Izuku said. Shoto grabs Bakugo by his arm as he prepares for an attack. Just when Izuku thought Shoto was going to use it, Shoto tosses Bakugo to the side. Why don't you use your fire side? I said use your DMN fire side, but you haven't. Everyone here is giving it their all and you're just here relaxing using your ice side. I want to show everyone that I can beat you even with your fire side. So come on and fight me with your left side, shouted Bakugo as he ran toward Shoto. Todoroki, use your fire side, shouted Izuku. Shoto then looked at Bakugo with a determined look on his face. Later fire began to erupt from Shoto's left side. Izuku then began to smile. Whoa! That's so cool, shouted Mina. What is Bakugo going to do now? Asked Sada. He's going to think off something, I just know it, said Kirishima. Shoto! Shouted Endeavor as he came down the stairs. Bakugo then propels himself into the air and began to surround himself with smoke. Howitzer impact! Shouted Bakugo. Shoto was about to counter back, but he began to think about his past. This causes him to turn off his fire side. Shoto quickly releases a large ice attack to block Bakugo. Bakugo places his hand on the ice as the ice blows up. Cold air and smoke began to fill the arena. Brr. It's cold, said Uraraka as she rubbed her arm. Agreed, said Ida as he follows suit. Once it cleared, Shoto was seen on the ground outside the line. As for Bakugo, he was knocked out on an ice block. Shoto Todoroki is out of bounds. Katsuki Bakugo is the winner, shouted Midnight. Everyone began to cheer and celebrate. Some were in disbelief. Some random boy had defeated the boy that was favored to win it all. Not only that, but the number 2 hero's son lost to some random kid as well. This is going to take a while to rebuild, said Midnight as she walks up to Cementos. Yep. Well, I might as well get started, said Cementos. Alright. Due to the previous battle, we will be taking a quick break. Take this time to do whatever you need to do, shouted Present Mike. The group walks in and sees Shoto on a hospital bed. Midoriya? Guys? What are you all doing here? Shoto. Well, we obviously came here to check up on you. But I came here for another reason. To be more specific, I have a question to ask you, said Izuku. Ask away, said Shoto. But why didn't you use your fire side? You had the advantage of winning. Not only that, but you overusing your ice quirk could hurt you badly. You could probably die from it, said Izuku. Did that old man tell you to do this? Shoto. No, said Izuku. I'm not answering that question, said Shoto. Todoroki, whatever happened in the past, you need to let go, said Izuku. I don't think you know what you're doing. I have gone through abuse from both my mom and dad. My dad would beat me down for not using his quirk or if I did something wrong, and my mom put this scar on my face when I was little. But it wasn't her fault. It was that old BSDRD's fault. If he wasn't so obsessed with beating All Might, I won't have to go through all of the shit I went through. That's why I'll show him I'll be great without his quirk, said Shoto. But, Todoroki, it's your quirk, not your dad's quirk. You not Endeavor nor is Endeavor you, said Izuku. Shoto realized that Izuku was right. You're right. I should have never said that, said Shoto. Todoroki, everyone out there is giving it their all, while you're here just using half of your power. Answer this, Todoroki. How the hell do you think you can be great without using your full strength? Huh, Todoroki? Asked Izuku. Shoto just stares at Izuku. You know, All Might once said this. The connection of your quirk doesn't matter, it's your own flesh and BLD, said Izuku. Later it was announced that the arena was fixed. The next match is Izuku Midoriya versus Momo Yaoyorozu, said the Might. Well, I better get going. I'll see you later, Todoroki, said Izuku as he walks out. Wait, Midoriya, said Shoto. Izuku looks back at Shoto. Thank you, said Shoto with a smile on his face. Izuku smiles back. No problem, Izuku said as he walks up to the arena. Later. Izuku later makes it to the arena and sees Momo from the other side of the arena. I'll have to go easy on her. It wouldn't be fair if I went all out, said Izuku. Are you two ready? Asked Midnight. They both nod their heads as Midnight whipped her W. Izuku charges toward Momo without using his quirk. Once Izuku engulfs his hands with fire and tries to punch Momo. But Momo blocks the attack with a shield. Well, I should have seen that coming. Izuku though. He jumps back and sends a fire attack toward Momo. Momo dodges the attack and charges toward Izuku. Momo drops the shield and creates a sword. You probably might want to get that sword back, said Izuku as he sends another attack toward Momo. The attack was too quick to dodge, so Yaoyorozu was hit with the attack. Later she came out of the attack perfectly fine and hits Izuku with a metal staff. Izuku holds his nose and realized it started to bleed. What the hell? How did she dash? Later Momo disappeared from Izuku's sight. What the hell is up with this girl? Izuku though. Izuku was later hit by the staff again and was getting beaten with it. Whoa. Yaoyorozu is kicking his butt, said Kaminari. You know, I never know Yamamo had it in her. Momo then kicks Izuku on the back and Izuku lands face flat. Alright, shouted Izuku. He puts his hands on the ground as the fire began to surround the arena. Maybe we should have spoken earlier? Asked Kaminari. Izuku then sees a cannon next to Momo. A cannon? Shouted everyone in the arena. A cannon? I need to end this now. Izuku though. Izuku then sends an attack towards Momo, as Momo set the cannon off. The bullet and fire attack collided and a large smoke bomb spread around the arena. Again, said everyone. Later the smoke clears as Momo was on the ground knocked out. As for Izuku, he was still standing. Izuku Midoriya wins and moves on to the next round, said Midnight as everyone began to cheer. Izuku watches as Momo gets carried away. She really almost beat my butt? She's really cool, Izuku thought to himself. It's now the second to the final round. Izuku is now going against Kirishima. Unfortunately, Kirishima was finished off with Izuku's grand finale attack, which sent him flying out of bounds. Sorry, Kirishima. I didn't mean to, said Izuku. And no problem, man. That attack was super manly, Kirishima said as he passed out. Izuku's sweat drops at Kirishima. The next match was Bakugo versus Hananuki. No one had a clue about how he was still there, but it didn't matter since he made it far. But this luck would obviously come to an end once Bakugo sent the boy against the wall. Katsuki Bakugo has won and is now moving on to the last and final round, shouted Midnight. Everyone then began to cheer for Bakugo as the billboard lit up. Welp, I guess I'm going against Bakugo, said Izuku as he watched from the waiting room. He walks out of the waiting room and sees Bakugo. Hey, you better go all out. I'm going to win this time, so I'm not holding back, said Bakugo. Don't worry. I will never hold back from going against you. Also, when I win today, it's going to be a tied score, said Izuku with a smile. As for Bakugo, he growled and walked away. Time skip. Alright. The last and final round of the sports festival is Izuku Midoriya versus Katsuki Bakugo. Alright everyone. Are you ready? Shouted Present Mike as the crowd cheered. On the left we have the walking bomb. That surprised everyone and defeated Endeavor's son Shoto Todoroki. ITSS Katsuki Bakugo. Shouted Present Mike. Everyone then began to cheer for Bakugo. On the right, it's the boy that cruised through the tournament and destroyed everything and everyone in his path. It is Izuku Midoriya, said Present Mike. Todoroki, you came back just in time, said Kaminari. Yeah, said Shoto. Are you two ready? Asked Midnight. They both nod their heads. Begin, shouted Midnight. Bakugo propels towards Izuku with explosions sparking in his hands. While Bakugo propels to Izuku, Izuku sends a large fire to Bakugo. Bakugo was sent back to where he was at the start of the match. Later Izuku appears in front of Bakugo and throws another attack at him. Bakugo luckily dodges the attack on time and propels behind Izuku. Later Izuku punches the ground as fire pillars appear and sent an attack toward Bakugo. But Bakugo counters attacks with explosions. While Bakugo was distracted with countering attacks, Izuku engulfs his fist with fire and punches Bakugo. This caught Bakugo off guard and sent him to the ground. Izuku grabs Bakugo and throws him across the arena. Bakugo was able to quickly recover and propel himself toward Izuku, but before Izuku could react, Bakugo sent a mean butt explosion attack on Izuku. "Oh," said Shoto and Kirishima. Izuku then sent another fire attack at Bakugo, but Bakugo was somehow able to block it. "Damn it," Izuku thought. "It's over," shouted Bakugo. Bakugo tried to attack but gets punched by Izuku. "DMN." Later fire began to surround the area. "Is it me or is it getting hotter?" asked Kaminari. "Let's finish this off quickly, Bakugo," shouted Izuku. Izuku surrounds himself with fire and propels toward Bakugo. Bakugo wickedly smiles and propels himself with large explosions. Bakugo sent explosions to distract Izuku from getting a clear view of him, but Izuku counters those attacks with fire. Izuku ignites his fist with fire as Bakugo does the same but with explosions. "Oh no! It's going to happen again!" shouted Kirishima as everyone tried to take cover. Midnight wipes her cloth off as Cementos makes blocks to stop the match. But that didn't work cause both students break the blocks and went head-on to each other. Once they collided, a large explosion was made and was followed by a mean shockwave. This shockwave tore apart some metal from the stadium and caused destruction to the battlefield. Once the wind calmed down and the smoke cleared, they see Bakugo and Izuku against the wall. "A tie!" shouted everyone in the arena. "What? A tie?" shouted Uraraka. "Well, I'm honestly not surprised. These two are pretty good definitions of a rivalry," said Yaros. Midnight appeared from the debris and announced that they'll have to have a tiebreaker once they woke up and fixed the arena. Uraraka then sighs and nods her head. "I'm go visit Midoriya later." Uraraka was now patiently waiting for Izuku to wake up. Recovery Girl walks out of the room and spots Uraraka. "You know he going have to go through surgery," said Recovery Girl. "Surgery?" shouted Uraraka. "Yep. The boy was obviously going to have severe injuries after that hellish battle he had. But don't worry, this won't take too long. It would be for a good few minutes," said Recovery Girl as she pushes Uraraka away. Achiko sighs and walks back to the stand. As soon as they got back, everyone began to ask questions. "Hey, Uraraka. What happened with Midoriya?" asked Ida. "Well, unfortunately, he's going through surgery. Recovery Girl said it was going to take a few minutes for it," said Achiko. "Well, that's good enough time for them," said Jiro as she looks at the field. "Man, Midoriya, and Bakugo really destroyed that field. It's like there's nothing left of it," said Kaminari. "Yeah. Did they really have to go all out like that?" asked Mina. "Either way, it was completely worth it," said Kirishima. "What? To see people get hurt?" "Sure. Nope. We got to see a manly but fight," said Kirishima. "Fair enough," said Momo and Mina. Time went by more quickly than they expected. They finished the construction in 10 minutes, and as for the surgery, it took them 13 minutes to finish. Later, Izuku and Bakugo come out of the tunnel with casts on their arm. "Are they about to fight with a cast on?" asked Tor. "I highly doubt it," said Momo. "All right. In order to break the tie, you two must have an arm wrestling battle. Whoever wins is the winner of the sports festival," said Midnight. Izuku and Bakugo sat down and got in position for the arm wrestle. "An arm wrestle? The only manly way for a tiebreaker," said Kirishima. "Go," said Midnight. Both Izuku and Bakugo began. Bakugo struggled at first but was able to catch on to Izuku's physical strength. Izuku was struggling also well since his hands began to get sweaty. Both of their hands went left and right as both they their hardest to win. But all came down to Izuku slamming Bakugo's hand on the ground. Izuku Midoriya is the winner of the sports festival. Alright class. I just want to say you all did a great job today. Congratulations Izuku Midoriya on winning the sports festival. You've done an amazing job. Take this week's break to think about the things you all could do better with your quirk. Anyways, class dismissed," said Aizawa as everyone walks out of the class and prepares for their week's break. Great job, Midoriya, said Uraraka. Thanks, Uraraka. I didn't think I could do it, but here I am with a medal around my neck. Izuku said with a smile as Ochako laughs. So, what are you going to do for the week break? Asked Uraraka. I don't know, I haven't really thought about doing another. Maybe I'll just chill out. How about you? Said Izuku. Well, I don't really have anything major planned to be honest. I'll probably just meet up with my parents and hang out. Oh, speaking of hanging out. Izuku reached into his bag and pulled out a flyer to a mochi shop. This new mochi shop opened up last week and I remembered you love mochi. So I figured why not we got together, said Izuku with a million-watt smile. Uraraka smiles and nods her head rapidly. Yeah, I would love to go, said Uraraka with a smile. Mina looks over and smiles widely as Bakugo shakes his head. How does he not realize what he did yet? I don't know, but I is cute. Mine shouted whispered. Next week. Class 1A's break was finally over and it was time to get to school. Izuku and Ochako were seen walking in the rain with an umbrella over their head. Izuku and Ochako talked about the fun they had at the mochi shop. Although they were both in a blushing mess, it was totally worth it. No, but seriously, Midoriya, I've got to pay you back. Oh, you don't have to. Besides, I suggested we go anyway, so it's only right for me to pay, said Midoriya with a smile. Uraraka smiles back as they finally get to school. Their classmates welcomes them. Man, I bet everyone was talking about you, said Kaminari. What? Asked Izuku. You know? The sports festival, said Kaminari. Wasn't that a week ago? Why would people still talk about it? Asked Izuku. The group shrugs their shoulders. Hey Uraraka, said Mina as she pulled her to the side. So tell me about your little date with Midoriya. Uraraka quickly became a blushing mess as she tried her best to change the topic with Mina. Alright, everyone. Sit down. Later. After picking their hero names, they had to pick to get an internship with. I don't know where I want to go to, said Izuku while looking at the paper. How about you go with All Might? Asked Uraraka. I would, but he's not on here. Anyways, Uraraka. Who did you pick? Asked Izuku. Well, I decided to go to Gunhead so I can learn martial arts, said Uraraka while making a determined face. Not a bad choice, Uraraka, said Midoriya. Hey Midoriya, have you still chosen where you interning at? Asked Kirishima. Nope. How about you? Said Izuku as he puts his head down. I'm going to this Yakuza-looking guy. Hopefully he isn't scary. That's nice, everyone got their internships. I'm starting to wonder if they even picked me. Hey, don't think like that, Midoriya. I'm sure heroes are real interested in you, said Uraraka. Yeah, Midoriya. You have till the end of the day to pick. Sitsu. Yeah, you're right. Anyways, lunch anyone? I'm hungry, said Kaminari as everyone leaves. While Izuku gets up, he looks at his paper one last time. He was there the whole time? Izuku asked himself. He circled a hero's name and turned in his paper. We now see Class A at the train station preparing to go to their internships. Izuku noticed how off Ida has been ever since the sports festival. He's still going through what happened to his brother. Izuku thought as he walked to Ida. Hey Ida? Is everything okay? Asked Izuku. Yeah. Everything is alright. Thanks for asking, Midoriya, said Ida with a smile. I'm not taking that. Izuku thought to himself. You know, Ida, we're your friends. Besides, I'm class rep, so it's my job to check on everyone here. Just call us if you need us, okay, Ida? Asked Izuku. Ida nods his head and walked to his train. The announcement system named the trains and the stops. Welp, my train number just got called. See you later, said Izuku. He got on Broad and rode off. Later. Izuku gets off the train and walks to the hero's internship. Welp, here I am. Hope he likes me, Izuku said to himself as he stands in front of Gang Orca's internship. Izuku walks in and sees sidekicks working, running in and out of doors. Hello, how can I help you? Asked the lady at the front. Oh, I'm here for an internship with Gang Orca, said Izuku. Okay, I'll call him, said the lady as she calls him. Once they were off the phone, Izuku was invited to go upstairs to his office. As soon as he gets there, he was met with Gang Orca standing tall and looking down at him. Now answer this, kid. Where the hell is your hero costume? Asked Gang Orca. Izuku showed him the suitcase. But why don't you have it on? I don't want to hear it. Go put it on. Once you put it on, meet me in the front of the building. You have 1 minute, said Gang Orc as Izuku started running towards the bathroom to change. Izuku puts on his costume and runs out to meet Gang Orca at the front. Nice costume. Now try to catch up, shouted Gang Orca as he disappeared. Izuku then propels his fire quirk to chase after Gang Orca. As he tries his best, Gang Orca stops on a dime and takes down a villain. Oh, what just happened? Izuku asked himself. Now it's your turn, kid. Go stop that other robber, said Gang Orca as he pointed to the robber. Izuku propels himself toward the villain. He later uses his quirk to take the villain down. Great job, Midoriya, said Gang Orca as he carried the first robber on his shoulder. Hey, you little bastard. If you don't let me go, I'll let it out, said the second robber. Don't listen to him, Midoriya. He's not going to do anything. He's just saying that to end me, said Gang Orca as the police take the two away. Alright, now let's talk about you, Midoriya. Your quirk is pretty common, but you still find a way to make it pretty strong and creative. Everything is fine with the way you use your quirk. Your reaction time is pretty good considering this is your first time catching a villain. The only problem we have is the output of your quirk. When you attacked that villain, your fire was hot to the point that it melted the pole and some windows on the buildings, said Gang Orca as he pointed towards the buildings. You're destructive. Which is okay, but you need to cool down, said Gang Orca. Izuku nods his head as he began to think about what made his quirk hot. Anyways, I'll let you think about how you can solve that. Now, what have you learned from this exercise? Asked Gang Orca. To jump straight into action. Don't even think, just go? Correct. The problem with some heroes is that they think too long. Now there is nothing wrong with thinking through things, and if you're a quick thinker, that's a different story. Those that think through situations like this waste time and cause more bad things to happen. If we haven't think fast, worse things could have happened. Either way, great job catching that villain. Tomorrow we'll be going to Hosu City and began patrolling around the city. Izuku has learned a lot from Gang Orca. He learned how to control his quirk to a certain temperature, adding special moves into his bag, and overall better strength and speed. Right now, Izuku is on the phone with Uraraka as she is discussing her internship. Wow, sounds like you are having fun. Can't wait to see what you've learned from him. Maybe I'll steal some moves from you, said Izuku. Uraraka giggles and agrees with Izuku. She couldn't lie, she missed the boy and so did Izuku. Anyways, what have you been up to? I saw on TV raiding a villain hideout with some heroes. What was that like? Asked Uraraka. Well, I was scared, to be honest. It's really nerve-wracking since you don't know what will happen next. But thanks to the heroes beside me, I got past my fear and we successfully completed the raid. In the end, it was fun. I honestly want to do another one. Other than that though, nothing too crazy happened, said Izuku. Uraraka smiled hearing her friend's experience in hero work. She then sighs. What happened, Uraraka? Well, you know, ever since we left, Ida has been acting differently, which is completely understandable considering what the hero killer did to his brother. But something is telling me that Ida is going to go after Stain. Izuku sighs as he looks up at the ceiling. Yeah, I feel the same too, Uraraka. That's why I've decided that if I run into him, I'll pitch in to help him. Uraraka smiles behind the phone. Yeah, I know you will. Well, when you do, please make sure you don't get hurt, Uraraka said softly. Yeah, I'll try not to. The next day. Midoriya, shouted Gang Orca. Midoriya was talking to a hero before his name was called on. Yes, SI. We have another raid today. Oh, nice. And you aren't coming with us? Oh, nice. Wait, I'm not going? Why not? Because I have you going somewhere else with the sidekicks. Today you all will be going to Hosu. Endeavor might need some help over there. But he's the number 2 hero. Why would he need him? Can't he just work over there himself? Don't question me, got it? Yes, sir, said the sidekicks as Izuku's sweat drops at them. Evening time. Izuku and the sidekicks have finally made it to Hosu to begin their patrols. They meet Endeavor and are greeted with a not-so-friendly gesture. I don't need your help. Leave now. No can do Endeavor. We were sent here my gang Orca. We must go by his order. Oh hey Midoriya. Didn't see you there, said Shoto as he walked up to Midoriya. Endeavor was about to say something to Shoto until he requested Izuku's face. That boy with the fire quirk. His fire is way stronger than Shoto's. I must get him to help Shoto with his fire. Hey boy. I have something to offer you. Back off old man, can't you see I'm talking to him? Anyways, did you know that Ida is here too? Really? I didn't expect to find Ida so quickly. You were looking for him? Why? Well, something is telling me that he'll go after Stain and seek revenge. Oh well, I do have Ida's location, you can take a look here, said Shoto. Midoriya thanks him and looks at Todoroki's phone for Ida's location. Alright. Todoroki? Why is it blinking? That means someone is losing reception. That isn't a good thing, right? Yep. Izuku stares at the phone a little longer until Todoroki points something out. From the looks of it, he in a alleyway? Why would he be oh shit? The two look at each other then look at the phone. The icon was still blinking until it stopped. Then it disappeared. Their eyes widen as they quickly darted off to save Ida. Hey! Where are you two going? Endeavor didn't get an answer since they already disappeared. Meanwhile, the two students went down the alley to find their classmate, and that's until Shoto heard a scream. Izuku heard it too as they stopped in their tracks. They looked and saw Ida on the ground with Stain standing over him. Izuku ignites his flames as Shoto sends an ice attack at Stain. Izuku jumps off the wall and punches Stain dead in the jaw. Midoriya. Todoroki? What are you doing here? The real question is, what are you doing here? Asked Izuku. He looks around and sees a hero against the wall knocked out. Plus Stain was still down for now. Alright Todoroki, here is the plan. We'll have to save Ida and the hero there quickly. Unfortunately, we can't get any contact with heroes since we don't have any reception. So that means we'll have to take on Stain until the heroes arrive. No. You guys must leave. This isn't your battle. Go. I've got this. No. As class press, I won't let my classmate die. I'll make everyone gets out of here alive, said Izuku as his flames ignited. Stain begins to get up and look at Izuku and Shoto. Great speech, kid. I wouldn't want society to lose a great hero like you, so move out of the way and allow me to kill this fake hero unless you want to die with him. I'm not moving, shouted Izuku as he sent an fire attack at Stain. Stain dodges it and charges full speed at Midoriya. Shoot builds an ice wall which causes Stain to run into it. Just then Stain cuts through the ice and is gifted a punch in the face by Izuku. Izuku charges at Stain with fire attacks flaring around Stain. Some attacks hit him and caught him off guard. Izuku this opportunity to land a blow to finish it off. Stain regains composure and moves his sword at Izuku. Izuku dodges and sends an fire spiral at Stain which causes him to get sent towards the wall. Not bad, kid. But you've got to be quicker. Stain draws his sword to his mouth and licks the BLD off the sword. Izuku drops to the floor, confused at what happened. What just happened? It's like I just went through a shock and got paralyzed. As soon as Stain gets up, Shoto sends an ice attack to trap him, following that another ice attack to counter the previous attack. A knife flew past Todoroki as it left a small cut on his cheek. Stain grabs Shoto and attempts to lick the BLD of Shoto. Shoot quickly reacts and sends out flames to scare Stain away. Stain quickly dodges but was met with an ice glacier from Shoto. Stain quickly slices through the ice and jumps at Todoroki. Midoriya is back up and sends a large fire attack at Stain. Izuku quickly jumps at Stain to attack, but Stain elbows him to the ground. Midoriya, move out the way, shouted Shoto. Izuku quickly moved as ice appeared to hit Stain. Stain jumps out the way and Midoriya quickly jumps over to Todoroki's side. You do. Leave now. The hero killer is mine to handle. Ida said. Man, you're still going? How can you not understand that meddling into something that has nothing to do with you is being a hero? We're here to save you, Ida. No ifs or buts. Got that? Midoriya said while grabbing Ida by his costume. Ida still denies and looks away from Izuku. Ida, would your brother want you to do this? Asked Midoriya. Ida realized where Izuku was coming from. Stain jumps up to attack. Izuku moves his arms. Flames heat up and attack Stain. Stain quickly dodges and the attack and throws knives at Izuku. Sheet. Shoto sends another fire attack to counter Izuku's. Izuku sent fire projectiles along with Shoto's attack. This sent the man into a wall. Listen, Ida. If you want to make your brother proud, get up and fight. Shoot, shouted. Izuku charges towards Stain, but before he knew it, Stain has a sword to Todoroki's neck. Ida gets up and kicks Stain away from Shoto. Ida, shouted Midoriya. Alright, Ida, shouted Todoroki. Damn it, these kids are fast. Alright, Ida. Let's finish this together.
Okay, sadly the chapter is over. And if you enjoyed the video, just leave a like and subscribe with post notification. So when the next chapter is ready, you will be notified. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.